Feel that tingling, the goosebumps on your skin from the reveal about to come out?
I'm trying hard here.
Here it is. This is what we're going to use for the formula for success.
Was that your big reveal moment?
No, that was just leading up to it.
Oh, okay.
Starter motor off of a semi-truck,
Yes?
plus an insane amount of batteries, gives us electric mini drag bike.
You've piqued my interest. So a mini bike is basically a mini motorcycle, but it's built by using parts from a go-kart. This originated back in like the 50s. Guys would take these motorcycle frames and they'd shrink them way down, and they would use literally anything they could find for a motor. And you made that thing go as fast as you possibly could.
I know I can get the frame, electric motor, and everything else minus the batteries for less than $500. And I think it'll draw all kinds of attention, having something that could beat a Ferrari.
Hold on, back up. Did you say beat a Ferrari?
Yeah, off the line. This bike could never match the top speed of a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but in a short race, I think it could definitely win due to its power-to-weight ratio, which is the vehicle's horsepower divided by its curb weight. Both of the vehicles, a Ferrari or Lamborghini, are gonna weigh over 3,000 pounds. If you dust them with this, it's just gonna be absolutely mind-blowing that a $500, something made from junk and garbage and leftover semi-truck parts could walk off and leave a $250,000 car.
Worried about wasting all the time creating a piece of content that doesn't perform. But this is the part where we roll the dice. A little electric-powered mini bike rolling out of the doors of this shop that's used to seeing giant monster trucks roll out. It's kind of weird. How does that fit in? What we're building is something cool, it's unique, it's innovative, and as we do this, all we're gonna do is create more content that's gonna bring more people to our website. So once Sam gets the mini bike he's looking for, we'll modify the frame to fit a bigger rear tire off a go-kart for extra traction. Then we'll design an electrical system with 20 Makita power tool batteries that are gonna be hooked up to a 24-volt semi-truck starter motor and wired through a set of 4 contactors. Finally, we'll install a wheelie bar and a few other touches, including a super cool glow-in-the-dark paint job. Once the mini bike is finished, we're gonna set up a nighttime race where I go head-to-head against a Lamborghini to find out whether this little bike can actually outrun a supercar.
I'm making really good progress on the electric mini bike. I've got the entire frame welded together, the battery plate with all the electrical components added to it, the 24-volt semi-truck starter installed, as well as all the wires going to the 4 heavy-duty contactors.
Sam, what the hell do we have here?
Well, this is the electric drag racing mini bike so far.
Looks like the electric chair.
The amount of kilowatts here could probably definitely kill you like an electric chair.
Dude, it looks like an early version of like some sort of prison torture.
Well, I guess I'll start with this 24-volt semi-truck starter motor. And now we are overclocking the mess out of it at 80 volts.
How many batteries?
We've got 20 batteries. They are capable of up to 200 amps of discharge apiece for a short burst.
Buckle up for a crash course in electrical engineering. The semi-truck starter motor that we're using is overclocked to 80 volts, meaning it pushes 80 units of electricity through a circuit, which is a closed loop electrons travel in to deliver electricity from a power source like a battery. Amps are units measuring how much electricity flows through a single point in 1 second. So, when you put volts and amps together, you get watts, or how much energy is being consumed.
So if you have the 20 batteries, times the 200 amp discharge times their 18-volt batteries, that's 72,000 watts of power, which falls in the ballpark right under 100 horsepower. Basically 1 horsepower for every 4 pounds. That's better ratios than a Bugatti Veyron. We're talking supercar type of speed off the line.
Look.
And when we slide these in, you may have to wiggle them back and forth because these leads combine.
This is literally a button. On or off. Dead or alive. Hauling ass or standing still. That's all it is.
You want to see what happens if we push the button? Just bump it.
Ooh. That is violent, Sam. It's just there's no way to get away from that thing. Dude, if that chain comes off, that's a chainsaw right through your head.
This is where 1/4-inch plate, I think, is well deserving. I can do a quarter-inch plate guard
authorize
on it.
half-inch plate.
Half-inch plate on the guard.
There's so much that could go wrong, from the chain exploding to the electric motor exploding to the batteries exploding to the bike wheeling over. I mean, we're not talking about going 15, 20 miles an hour like that bike was originally intended to go. We're talking faster than exotic car acceleration speeds. This is scary. Sam, this is a really bad idea, but it's a really good idea. It's just like a really bad idea at the same time. This might be the one thing that my wife tells me I can't do ever.
Sam's mini bike, you know the one you're gonna drag race?
Yep.
Stripped down in the paint booth, getting ready to rumble with some glow-in-the-dark paint. Now that the bike's back together, Sam's making sure that every terminal, wire, and electrical component is ready to roll, because guess what? It's go time on this drag race. And I am amped.
Man, I wasn't nervous until he showed up.
So you made it.
I made it.
Not gonna lie, I wasn't sure if you were gonna show up.
You want to race this?
Hell yeah, I wanna race that. So it's a Lambo, right?
It's a Lamborghini Huracan Spider.
All right, so tell me about your little toy here.
It's got about 630 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.2, top speed of 198.
198?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see you read the brochure, but do you know how to drive?
Oh, I guess why don't you find out?
Here's the thing, though. You have no idea what I'm racing you
You're
in.
gonna race me in a truck, I'm gonna win.
Let's not drag this out anymore. You wanna see what I'm racing you in?
I want to see it.
See it.
I'm dying.
You boys are in for a treat.
Ooh. Are you seeing this?
Let me just tell you something right now. You're about to get your asses handed to you by a $500 junkyard mini bike. We ended up taking a beat-up old 1975 Roadrunner mini bike and transformed it into literally one of the most badass electric-powered ass-kicking machines you've ever seen. We made some major modifications to the old frame. We added a wheelie bar and a giant rear tire from a racing go-kart. We installed a 24-volt starter motor from a semi-truck, which we then ended up powering with 20 separate Makita power tool batteries. Then we added a few other custom details like the glow-in-the-dark paint. And now, this bike is fully prepared to race and kick some ass. And the best part is, it's got one speed. And that speed is kick your ass.
Well, my money's still on the Lambo.
Okay.
How much money?
What money are we talking about?
I brought a little wad of cash. Let me just see what I got here. Got about 5 grand. But if I win, I want this. Just to add to my collection and my I beat
Oh, you
Dave
want my
Sparks.
$5 grand and my bike?
I beat Dave Sparks.
I'm in, dude.
Yeah.
Done
Let's
deal.
do it.
I'm about to race a Lamborghini on an electric mini bike with over 72,000 watts of power with 0 speed control. So when you're talking drag racing, you're either doing an 1/8 mile or a 1/4 mile race. Tonight, we're gonna do an 1/8 of a mile because what that really shows is acceleration. If we were to do a 1/4 mile or a 1/2 mile or something longer, Gavin would outrun me like crazy.
Yeah.
Big boy on a little bike.
Let's do this. Give me your hat.
As I'm getting ready to race and it's about to start, I look over and I see this bear on this little bike. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I got him.
Looks like he's scared. You see my light? You hammer down on that button. You never lift.
Never lift.
You don't need brakes. The fence will stop you.
If I'm gonna beat Gavin in this race tonight, the only way I'm gonna be able to do it is if I get him right on the start line.
What's the call? What's the call?
It was fairly close. Bam, gone. I got Gavin out of the hole. But once the Lambo gets going, it's a fast car. He might pass me.
What's the call? What's the call?
The electric